Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here in Western Canada. I hope everybody has had a great weekend so far, and I hope you're all looking forward to a fantastic weekend. Students, in this class we're looking at IELTS Speaking Part 3. Continuing with the topic of Part 2, we just finished a class 30 minutes ago, Speaking Part 2, the cue card that was on the topic of a big cleaning. I talked about cleaning my garage, and we heard students talking about cleaning their homes and apartments. Speaking Part 3 will focus on hygiene and cleaning the community. So, related to the topic of Part 2, as it is. This lesson is presented to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS. Visit us there. For the general IELTS, check us out at gieltshelp.com. Hi Fuang, Anna, Nicholas, Dalali, Vana Purapu. Nice to see many of you in the class and ready to learn. Students, our websites that power these live classes look like this. This is aehelp.com here with the blue background. You can click the big red button that's just above my head there. It's a one-time payment. You get lifetime access. When you do that, use the code AI4U. This discount code is coming from our most recent video release on our YouTube channel and websites. General IELTS, gieltshelp.com. Again, click the big red button. Sarah, good to see you in the class. Everybody, Sarah is our chat moderator. She is in blue. She can help you with questions. She has done the IELTS. She has or is attending school here in Canada. So she is a lovely, helpful person to have on board. All right, everybody, let's get to it. Like I said, I will focus a lot of today's lesson on giving you chances to volunteer, speak, and interact with me through Zoom. So there will be lots of Zoom time in this class. Premium students, you get 90 minutes of Zoom on Sunday tomorrow. And again, 60 minutes of Zoom on Wednesday for General IELTS Task 1 writing. Sign up on the websites to become a member and to join those Zoom sessions, everyone. That's how you do it. Apps are Academic IELTS Help and General IELTS Help. The Instagram is IELTS_AE Help and GIELTS Help. And if you have any questions, just send me an email, adrian@aehelp.com and admin@aehelp.com. All right, students, our schedule right now, Speaking Part 3. Tomorrow, premium students, Zoom, full speaking class. Monday, Tuesday, no class. Wednesday, General IELTS Task 1 for premium users. And then we've got lots more YouTube classes. New schedule coming on the 2nd of July, right after Canada Day. I'll tell you more about that throughout next week. All right, everybody. Here we go. So for using AI like ChatGPT, it's great. It's good help with speaking as well. You can use that to help analyze your Speaking Part 2 answers, give you some tips on better sentence structure, more accurate sentence structure. Careful asking ChatGPT or AI for sample answers. There's a reason for that. Anybody know? So before AI is becoming really popular, and that's awesome. We use it in my work all the time. But you have to use it carefully, students. Oh, by the way, subscribe to the channel, everyone. It's free, and it's a good way to keep up with IELTS. So why is it bad? Before we get into IELTS Speaking Part 3 here, why is it bad for you to ask ChatGPT or AI to give you an answer to a speaking question. If some of you watch that video, then you'll know the answer to that. So why is it bad to ask AI to give you a good answer to an IELTS speaking question? So for example, I would never ask ChatGPT to be like, please give me a band 9 answer to this question, and then let's say that this is the question. We can actually, you know what, let's have fun with this. I can show you what I have, the professional version of ChatGPT, the paid version, so I can show you this. It might have gotten smarter. Maybe I'll put a foot in my mouth, but we can do that. We shouldn't. Eski says sometimes it lies, and then Fatima says we need to warm up our brain. Well, let's test it, everyone. Here is Father ChatGPT. And here, let me actually, you know what, I'll minimize the screen so you can see me entering that question. We'll just copy paste it here. So why is it important? Okay, so we'll put the full question in there. Okay, so we are going to do this for real. Why not, right? Why not? And so here we go. And this is, I'm using ChatGPT 4.0. You can see that here, everybody. It's the latest. It's the paid version. We are one of the early users of ChatGPT. So I'm using the paid version, and it's going to give me the best possible answer out there. Hopefully, we'll see. So please give me a band 9 answer to this IELTS speaking part 3 question. You have to ask it very good questions. That's another important part of ChatGPT. And then quotation, and it should be in English as well. Let's do this. Desjardi, yeah, very good. I think that's what we're going to see, but let's check it out. Okay, so here we go. All right. Lovely. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, AI is good, but it's right away, even before we read, we can kind of see that there's an issue with this. Okay. What do you think? What's the first issue before we even read? This is the answer. I'll copy it in so everybody can see it. Okay. Achal Veer says it's too long. This is ChatGPT's answer to that question. It's it's 5 paragraphs. I mean, yeah, it's don't do that. That's not going to work. All right, so here is ChatGPT's answer to this question. Maintaining a clean home is essential for several reasons. Firstly, a clean environment significantly contributes to the health and well-being of its occupants. Regular cleaning helps to eliminate dust, allergens, and pathogens, which can cause respiratory problems and other health issues. This is particularly crucial for individuals with allergies or asthma. Secondly, cleanliness in the home promotes a sense of order and reduces stress. When everything is in its place and the environment is tidy, it creates a more relaxed and comfortable atmosphere. This can enhance mental clarity and overall mood, making daily activities more enjoyable and less chaotic. By the way, if the examiner hasn't interrupted you yet, they're probably sleeping at this point, okay? So if the examiner has not yet interrupted you with the next question, they are probably sleeping. Okay, at this point. All right, so But let's keep going and let's see what else ChatGPT would say to this, okay? So additionally, a clean home reflects personal responsibility and pride in one's living space. It shows that the inhabitants value surroundings and are willing to invest time and effort into maintaining them. This can also have social benefits as it makes the home more inviting for guests and fosters a positive impression. Moreover, regular cleaning and maintenance can prolong the life of household items and the home itself. By taking care of surfaces, appliances, and fixtures, homeowners can prevent wear and tear, avoiding costly repairs or replacements in the long term. In summary, this is a question here. Keeping a clean home is vital for health, mental well-being, social respectability, and economic efficiency. It ensures a safe, pleasant, and sustainable living environment. Whew. All right. So that's what ChatGPT says should be a Band 9 answer to this question in speaking part 3 of why is it important to keep a clean home. Now, number 1, there is no way an IELTS examiner will listen to that whole answer. Number 2, it's generic. It sounds like you're reading a page out of some textbook. It's not human, okay? It's way too generic. So it literally lists reasons like 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Achalveer Singh says it's a short essay. So it's not going to work. But here, let me show you what will work, okay? Let me show you. So for those of you who watched this video that we made, and I'm going to put this video in here again of how to use AI effectively, right? What should you do, everybody? So that's the video again. I'm going to put it in there. So I know a lot of people are using AI these days, and it's good to know this. So what is a good way to use AI for questions like this? Okay. So why is it bad? Let's finish that first. Because you get long, generic, inhuman, robotic, overly complex. They don't need to be that complicated. That are not only impossible to replicate, or nearly impossible, let's say, but simply won't work, but also won't work. The examiner will interrupt you. Okay, so that's why it's bad. So what's a good way? What should we do? Okay, so what is a good way? To ask ChatGPT for speaking help. Okay. All right, Iba, very good. Iba, it seems to me like you've watched the video and you've kind of figured it out. All right. SK says to be more specific. No. Okay, there's a very simple, there is a simple answer to this. All right. You can just simply give your answer first, right? So here is the speaking part 3 question. So the examiner, you know, would say, let's talk about personal cleanliness. Why is it important to keep a clean home? And then I would answer on my own. So I would say it is vital to maintain a tidy home because this keeps me healthy and organized, which in turn allows me to be productive and achieve my goals in life by cleaning my home at least once a week. I can focus better on my business studies at home, and I hope this will lead to good exam marks. Okay, so I'm following the pattern of answer, explanation, example, and I kind of gave a little bit of a, you know, let's say a band 7.5 or 8 answer. So I'm not using the best words, the best organization or structure here. Okay. Marasa says it's essential to keep the surrounding area neat and clean because it not only keeps us healthy and safe from dangerous diseases, but also keeps individuals active and boosts their energy. Okay, so Marasa and everybody else, put your answers in there. I will show you how AI can help. Okay, first I'll do it with mine. So watch what I'll do. So I'm going to grab my answer. Okay, I'm going to copy it. I'm going to put it into AI. Okay, and instead of asking AI to give me a band 9 answer, I'm going to ask it to revise my answer to make it better. Okay, so please revise my response to the IELTS speaking part 3 question. What was the question? It's up here too. Why is it important to keep a clean home? Question, why is it important to keep a clean home? Okay. To have it sound more natural and professional. High band scores are professional. Okay, so please revise my response to the IELTS speaking part 3 question. Why is it important to keep a clean home? To have it sound more natural and professional. Here is my response. Okay, and then I'll copy it in. And then let's see what it does. It's thinking. It's going to think a little bit more this time. Okay, now here is the revised version, and it certainly does read better. Okay, it's not a big difference because, like I told you, it's already a 7.5 to an 8, so we're really improving only by a band score, but it is better. Okay, so here is ChatGPT. Maintaining a tidy home is essential because it promotes both health and organization, which in turn enhances productivity and helps me achieve my life goals. By cleaning my home at least once a week, I create an environment that allows me to focus better on my business studies. This improved concentration can lead to better exam results, contributing to my overall success. This reads better. This is more of a band 9. It has better diction. It has better phrasing, better vocabulary use than my original band 7.5. Okay? And you can compare those, all right, afterwards. Everybody following me so far? Am I losing you? Hopefully not. Okay, so notice how I did that, right? So that's what's going to be more effective. So using AI effectively is really good. Marasa, I know we've had talks and I've told you to use ChatGPT to help you, and I give that advice. So here's Marasa's answer. Okay. So Marasa says it's essential to keep the surrounding area neat and clean because it not only keeps us healthy and safe from dangerous diseases, but also keeps individuals active and boosts their energy. Well, daily, where's the rest of it, Marasa? Okay. All right, so let's say we stop here, and let's say I'm going to give this like a band 7. All right, students, what should I tell ChatGPT to do with Marasa's answer to make it into a band 9? Okay. What do you think? Okay. And after this, I promise you, we will do Zoom interactions. I will keep my word. We will spend most of the class, the remaining 50, 60 minutes or so, on this. Okay. Achalvir says, add some reason. Okay, I can see lots of people are still following me here, which is good. Fuang says, ask it to add an example. Okay. Okay, add an example, Fuang, very right. Okay. Single and Savvy says, I think that would sound better rephrased. Rephrase it. Okay. Very good. All right. And individuals active and boost their energy. It's the explanation here is a little bit unclear. So I would add better explained for boosting energy. Okay, especially. Yeah, very good. Al-Chalvir got that. How does it boost energy, right? So that's what you have to do. So first you have to analyze. You have to analyze your own answer, and then you can ask ChatGPT to give the right question. And that's why you're here, everybody, because you have to learn that. So AI cannot replace you. AI cannot teach you to speak band 9, because when you try to do that, it's going to give you this kind of an answer. Okay? And obviously that just won't work. So let's do this one last exercise. Let's feed ChatGPT Murasa's answer, and then let's give it the instructions to get that better band 9 answer. Are you ready for this, Murasa? Okay. So, okay, let's do it. So again, the question is, why is it important to clean the home? And of course, you should be using ChatGPT in English, everybody. You have at least an intermediate level of English, so don't use it in another language. ChatGPT is much smarter when you use it in English. Okay, so revise the following response to this IELTS speaking part 3 question. Why is it important to keep a clean home so that it is natural, professional, includes a real world example, and better explains boosting energy? Here is the question. ChatGPT is pretty smart. You can give it that much information, and then now we're going to put Murasa's response in there. Okay, and just by giving this information and thinking through it like this, you're already improving your English ability. Okay, all right, here we go. Let's see what happens. Oh, didn't have to think all that much at all, did it? All right. Let's see what it said. It looks about, the size looks right. So right away when I'm looking at it, Murasa, the size of the answer looks to be around that band 9 mark. So Murasa, here is your band 9 answer according to ChatGPT. I will tell you if I agree with it or not. You can still always improve it. Okay. All right, so Murasa, ChatGPT says this is what you should say. It's essential to keep the surrounding area neat and clean because it not only safeguards our health by preventing dangerous diseases, but also keeps us active and boosts our energy levels. For example, a well-maintained home can reduce the presence of allergens and pathogens, decreasing the risk of illnesses like colds or asthma. Additionally, a clean environment can significantly enhance one's mood and energy. When everything is in order, it creates more pleasant and less stressful atmosphere, allowing individuals to feel more motivated and energized. This can be seen in how a clutter-free workspace often leads to increased productivity and a positive mindset. Now, do I agree that this is a band 9? No. There's just a bit of blah, 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 blah here. But is it close enough? Yes. Let me show you what I would do here. I would basically take all of this out. Okay, I would take all of that out and I would keep this. And now we've got a band 9. So you have to kind of figure out, you know, what's that unnecessary filler that ChatGPT kind of puts in there. And you can, and with practice you can. So Marasa, now it's going to be a band 9. It's essential to keep the surrounding area neat because it not only safeguards our health by preventing dangerous diseases, but also keeps us active and boosts energy level. For example, a well-maintained home can reduce the presence of allergens or pathogens, decreasing the risk of illness like colds or asthma, and keeping us on our feet. Thus keeping us on our feet, or so keeping us on our feet from 7 a.m. till midnight. Okay, I'm going to give a bit of quantification. This can be seen in how a clutter-free workspace often leads to increased productivity and more positive mindset. Now it's a much better answer. Okay, we could have asked ChatGPT to add some quantification in there as well. Okay, so everybody, are you getting a kind of a taste or a feel for how ChatGPT can assist you in your IELTS exam preparation? Again, Ream clutter-free means there aren't objects randomly placed in various locations. Clutter-free is basically disorganized or not disorganized with objects. Clutter-free. Clutter is when you have a lot of objects that are just kind of piling up around you. Okay? All right. Again, for those of you who are like, what? Check out this video. This is a full video we put on YouTube that will help you. Marasa says, thanks, I got it. Okay, good, Marasa. A wise man says, should we use idioms or not? Idioms won't help you get a band 9 necessarily. They can actually work against you. You should only use idioms if you're using them naturally, not forcing them, and they are 100% accurate. Otherwise, they will cost you marks. Okay? All right, students. So, without further ado, we're going to do Zoom interactions. Everybody, that means you will get a chance to speak to me and answer these questions via verbal interface. Here's the Zoom link. I will open up the Zoom session. All you have to do is join and raise your hand to volunteer. To raise your hand, simply click on reactions, raise hand, and then lower your hand if you've changed your mind. All right, so students, again, these will be the part 3 questions. I will ask my first volunteer to answer the cue card from the previous session, and I will bring that cue card back for us just for a moment here. This was the cue card. Okay. Let me put my ears on and get you all into this session. Okay. Yes, that's right, Iba. All right. I'm going to mute everybody for now, and just so we have order in this interaction. Yeah, I remember Abraham Neymar were in the last class too. Neymar, can you unmute yourself? I'll get you to answer that part 2 question just so everybody gets an idea of what we're doing here. Neymar, are you there?
Yes, good morning, sir.
How are you, Neymar?
I'm fine.
Sounds like you have a little one in the background. Is that your son or your daughter?
No, sir, I'm just 19 years. There's nobody around.
Oh, okay. So maybe somebody else is unmuted. All right. Okay. Neymar, can you unmute yourself again, please? If you're hearing me. Just one more time. I had to mute everybody else.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Okay, I'm still letting people in, so we might have to do that again, but we'll get going here. Okay, Neymar, we'll do the part 2 again, just to remind everybody what we did in the last class, and also for new people, it's important to understand that speaking part 2 and part 3 are strongly connected. The examiner will say at the end of part 2 that they will continue with part 3. The questions will be connected to your response and to the topic. So that's a reminder, right, Neymar? It tells you that you have to make those connections. Correct, Neymar?
Yes, right.
Okay. All right. So let me just try to get you back here. I'm going to try to mute everybody again. I think most people are in the class now, and then I'll get you to unmute one more time, Neymar, just a sec. Okay. All right. So one more time, Neymar, if you can unmute yourself. There's 14 of us in here now, which is a good number. All right. So Neymar, I'll start you off for part 2, and then I'll give you some feedback, okay? And we'll transition into part 3 so everybody kind of gets an idea of how this works in the real IELTS exam. So after part 1, the examiner says that is the end of part 1. We will now continue with part 2. For this part, I will show you a card with some questions. You will have 1 minute to read these, think about your answers, and then you will have 1 to 2 minutes to speak. I will tell you when to start and when to stop. Is that clear?
Yes.
Then talk about a time when you had to do a big cleaning. Your 1 minute preparation time begins now. And you prepared, you were in the last class, Neymar, so I have a feeling you know what you want to say. So I'll just start you off. Your 1 minute preparation time is up. Please begin speaking.
Last month, I volunteered for a big cleaning up my lawn. At the daybreak, I felt like doing nothing. But because the last night was a windy night, so the moment I went outside to take a look at the nature, I saw that there were leaves all around in my lawn, and there was some kite string too. So I just changed up my mind and decided to clean up. At first, I accumulated the leaves into a heap by slight brooming followed by deep brooming, and then I decided to water the plants, the flora. It was basically solo work because both my mom and dad as always are engrossed in their works. At the end, I felt content because it was a good job. Not only did I do some exercise, but also I cleaned up my lawn area. And in future, if I have to do cleaning, then I will surely employ some modern robotic techniques so that it consumes lesser time. And I hope to do this again because it's like hitting 2 targets with an arrow. And once, if there is a stormy or a windy night, then I can again begin cleaning my lawn. And at the
Okay,
end,
I'm going to stop you there, and we will now continue with part 3. For this part, I will ask you some questions related to the topic of part 2 in your question or in your response. Please put the note paper and the pencil to the side. Let's begin. Let's talk about cleanliness. Okay, and then they go into this next part and they'll say, why is it important to keep a clean home? All right, Nimar, so your band score is about a 7. It was good English, so you're more than just fluent. I mean, you can not only just talk, but you can switch between ideas and discuss what you're doing in a relative amount of detail. You have to pay attention to accurate grammar, better use of vocabulary. Careful with robots, everybody. Robots, I mean, we're not quite there yet where your robots are cleaning your lawn, although we do have robotic lawnmowers, but still, you need to be cautious and especially be careful with idioms. So hitting 2 targets with 1 arrow is not the right idiom in most cases in English. I haven't really heard that one, to be honest with you. It's hitting 2 birds with 1 stone is the right idiom for that, Nimar. Hit 2 birds with 1 stone. Can you repeat that?
Okay.
Hit 2
Yes,
birds.
hit 2 birds with 1 stone.
And it's kind of a sad idiom. I mean, we don't really throw rocks at birds anymore, but that's like, Nimar, don't be throwing rocks at birds, especially when you're talking about your lawn, because there's probably birds there. No, but that's the idiom that we use. So again, students, I saw that question earlier in the chat. You have to be really careful. Idioms, don't use them unless you're 100% sure they are accurate and well used. Okay, you can't force them. If you force them, Nimar, you'll lose marks. If this were a real exam, Nimar, and you said to me hitting 2 targets with 1 arrow, I would have taken marks for that, for not being natural. I would have docked you a half band score right there, just for that. Okay?
Okay, yes.
So you have to be really careful, everybody. If you're not 110,000% sure that the idiom is correct and natural, just don't use it. Okay, so instead use more accurate English. How can you say that with just clear, verbal, literal English? Hit 2 birds with 1 stone. How can you say that, Nimar, with simple English?
Sir, we can say having dual advantage.
Yeah, there's one word for that, Nimar. Multitasking. Yeah, so I would multitask.
I would multitask.
I would multitask to get it done faster and with less energy. Okay, can you just repeat that? I would multitask to get it done faster and with less energy.
I would multitask to get it done faster and with less energy.
Okay, or you could just say I would be more efficient. Hit 2 birds with 1 stone is efficiency. I would be more effective or more efficient, right? So there are simple ways to express these ideas. Okay, I made some corrections. Everybody repeat after me. It is English practice, so I'm not just teaching you theory. I want you to have practical knowledge here as well. You started very nice, very strong, Nimar. Repeat after me. Last month, I volunteered for a big cleaning of my lawn.
Last month, I volunteered for a big cleaning of my lawn.
At day's break, I felt like doing nothing.
At day's break, I felt like doing nothing.
But when I remembered that the previous night had been quite windy,
But when I remembered that previous night had been quite windy,
I decided to go outside and check out what nature had done.
I decided to go outside and check what nature had done.
Indeed, there were lots of leaves, branches, and some garbage littered around my home.
Indeed, there were lots of leaves, branches, and some garbage littered around my home.
So I grabbed some garbage bags, gloves, and a rake.
So I grabbed some garbage bags, gloves, and a rake.
In the future, when I have to do this again,
In the future, when I have to do this again,
I will consider getting a leaf blower
I would consider getting a leaf blower
because it was quite tiring to rake up all the leaves.
because it was quite tiring to
Rake up all the
wake up
leaves.
all leaves. Wake up
quite,
all the leaves.
yeah, quite exhausting, we can say, to rake up all the leaves. Okay. All right.
Yes.
So a little bit, like I say, better language, better grammar, better word choice. Keep it simple, right? And again, Nimar, so what you can do when you're practicing, everybody, is if Nimar were to do this again, so this is recorded, Nimar. It's on YouTube, right? So all of these live classes are recorded. You can go back, you can find your answer, give it to ChatGPT, say, hey, can you revise this for just some better, more cohesive language, more natural language, and then it will give you kind of an answer that I just gave you, okay?
Yes.
All right, Nimar, that was great. Thank you.
Sir, I wanted to ask
Mm-hmm.
something.
Go ahead.
Sir, like there is this last question about do you hope to do this again? What if we say no, then is it being be pessimistic?
It's a good question. You can. There's a bigger problem. It's not the pessimism. The IELTS examiner doesn't care if you're pessimistic or optimistic. That doesn't matter for them in some sense. There is an issue with it, though. Anybody know what that is? Can you tell me in the chat? Or you can also tell me even in the Zoom chat if you have an answer there for me, so I can check there for you.
Like
There's a
because
bigger
it's
problem. Yeah, what is it, Nimar? What do you think?
sir, as at some point in in your videos only kind of saw that if someone asks you, do you play or do you go or do you work something, so you must not answer no because that would decrease your score. We should be positive with answers.
Yeah, there are logical reasons for that, Nimar, everybody. So, first of all, your fluency decreases greatly. When you say, I don't plan to do this, or no, I won't do this anymore, then that's just a sentence. Usually negative answers are very short, right? That makes sense. So most of the time when we have a negative answer, it's a very short answer. So your fluency decreases. Fluency doesn't just mean that you're talking continuously. It means that you have a complete and clear answer, explanation. Example, when you just say no, it's a conversation stopper, right? No's are a stop. It's like stop, no, stop. So that's one big reason, right, that you don't want to do that, because it stops you. The other big reason, there's a second one, Nimar, is often it's irrational. Do you know what that means, irrational?
Not logical ways.
It's not logical. Exactly. Like in this case, if you tell me, no, I never plan to clean up my yard again, I'd look at you and be like, seriously? Like, you'd have to really explain that to me, because I have a hard time believing that you're never going to clean your yard again, right? So it almost feels like you're not continuing because you don't want to explain it, or you're scared that you don't have the English to explain it, but it doesn't make logical sense, right? So it would make a lot more sense to say, of course, I will be doing this again the next time there is a big storm in the middle of the night. Get it?
Yes.
So just repeat this after me, Nimar. Of course, I will be doing this kind of big cleaning again the next time there is a big storm in the middle of the night.
Of course, I would be doing this big cleaning in case there is a big storm after in the night.
Yeah, and it's not would be, because it's not an unreal condition. It's a real condition. Having a storm in the night is not a question of if, it's a question of when, right? So of course I will be doing this big cleaning again, not if, when there is another big storm in the middle of the night. So for Band 8, Band 9, your ideas have to be logically sound. Okay, Nimar, that makes sense?
Yes, if we say that at the time of the cleaning I saw a snake, so it might be dangerous. Maybe next time employ some workers. So like, would it make
Then
a
you're
logical response?
Yes, exactly. At that point, though, you're explaining it, right? So you have to be careful, though, because negative answers can be tricky to explain. You need more vocabulary. So now it's good, because you're explaining your negative answer. So you say, oh, I likely won't be doing this again in the near future because I'm scared of snakes, and I saw a snake, it almost bit me. They're venomous, so next time I will hire yard workers to maintain my lawn. Then you get into a trickier explanation than if you just go with the positive answer. So if you say no and you explain it, that's okay, but be cautious. It's often difficult to explain a negative answer. Okay?
Yes.
All right. Very good question, Nimar. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir, for having me.
You're very welcome. Bye, Nimar.
Bye.
All right, that was Nimar, everybody. Let's give Nimar a big thumbs up. She certainly deserves it. That was really good. So everybody, this is, again, we're in Zoom. These are Zoom interactions. And I'll put the link into the chat in YouTube one more time so more people can join in if they'd like. Thank you for all the thumbs up. Okay, let's give our moderator, Sarah, a chance to chime in. We haven't heard from her in quite some time. All right. Sarah, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Yes, I'm there. Where are you, Sarah? Are you in Calgary still?
Yeah, I'm still in Calgary.
Okay, I didn't follow up with you regarding employment, so I'm not sure what happened there, but I'm guessing nothing much yet, right?
Yeah, nothing much yet, but I'm already working here. I already got some jobs opportunities. So yeah, I think I'm doing fine.
Good. I am very happy to hear that, Sarah. Yeah, just keep pursuing your dreams, Sarah, and you will see that you will succeed. Okay, perseverance is key. Sarah, you're quite active again these days. Are you planning to do the IELTS again?
Honestly, I'm thinking to. I'm not sure about it. I just wanted to get more comfortable with my English. It became more like not professional English, and I'm planning to make it more, professional, more usable for me in university because I just got way too comfortable in normal speaking.
Sarah, I'm really happy to hear you say that. Now, everybody should know that Sarah was in France, right, Sarah? You did the IELTS. You passed. You passed the IELTS. Why don't you give, instead of me telling everybody, Sarah, and I shouldn't tell everybody because I didn't even ask you if it's okay, but if you're comfortable, why don't you give everybody like a very short version of your last couple of years?
Yeah, so it was around a year. I did give my first IELTS for the first time after learning English for around 8 months. I got a band 6. It was my first try with IELTS. It wasn't enough because I needed 6.5 for my university admission. I had to retake the IELTS, and it was in a period of like a month and a half to around 2 months. So at that period, I was so active in the classes and studying more English. I retook the IELTS and I got a band 7, like a whole band jump in 2 months. And then after that, I got my admission. I came to Canada, and now again, I'm planning to maybe retake the IELTS soon. I'm not sure about that. So that's kind of a short story.
Okay, Sarah, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, so there's an important point here, everybody, that you need to understand when you're thinking about Sarah's story. Sarah, your story is very common. It's a very typical story. I think Adeyumi, who was in the last class, he's kind of somewhat in the similar situation because he's in Canada, he's in Ontario, he wants the express visa, he's here. What people need to understand from Sarah's story and from many others like Sarah is that IELTS is not a test of English as a second language. It's an English proficiency test. Native speakers take it also for university and for professions. It tests. So band 7 is basically like your comfortable everyday user of English in Canada, in France, or anywhere you are in the world, right, Sarah?
Yeah.
Okay. A band 8 though, or a band 9 is you have English, which is enough to apply for graduate school, like you're going to be a lawyer or a doctor or an engineer, or you apply for a professional position like a management position where you have a leadership role. So those are the band 8s and 9s. They require more than just everyday English, right, Sarah?
That's true.
Okay, and living in a country like Canada is not enough to learn that English. You have to actively seek and study professional language, correct, Sarah?
That's true, because living in a country, you get just comfortable with the casual talk. You don't use that much complicated vocabulary or like precise language. But when you want to take the exam, you have to go more into complicated sentences, more professional language. It's a little bit seems more robotic when we compare it to the normal talks, but it's like the professional way to use it at school, to use it professionally.
Exactly. And I'm so happy, that you're saying this, because I think, I say it so often. Sometimes I feel like students think it's the Adrian method or it's just Adrian's advice. And I think a lot of the other IELTS creators, and I respect them, I'm going to start with that a lot, they do kind of target the band 6, 7 students more, and they're giving a lot of advice that's not useful or even counterproductive for the band 8 or 9. So they give advice like, oh, don't answer all the questions on the cue card, or just be yourself, or just speak naturally. And that's a bit misleading. I think some students think they can get a bit band 8 or band 9 by following those instructions, but they really can't. And then when I see some comments on some of our speaking videos, which are somewhat scripted and rehearsed, students will say, oh, this student sounds so robotic, or it's like they memorized it. And I always say, like, well, professional and academic language is like that. Like, it's not a spontaneous kind of casual language. It sounds more robotic, more rehearsed. The words are chosen with purpose, right? And you have to learn to do that in real time. Does that make sense, Sarah?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what you have to think of, everybody, especially for those of you who are going into graduate school and are going into professions, like I think what you're doing now, Sarah, right? As you're going in that
Yes.
direction.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's do it. Let me ask you a couple of questions and we'll give an example of this, okay? Are you ready?
Sure. Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about personal cleanliness. Why is it important to keep a clean home?
It is necessarily to keep a tidy house, because if your house is not clean enough, it may affect your health and cause health problem. We are talking mainly about many diseases that can develop in unclean environments, especially uh, especially allergic reactions, like having an allergy to dust. When I used to live before, by example, when I used to live before with my family, the house was always clean, and I never knew that I have an allergy to dust. But when I started living alone, and the cleanliness of my house kind of dropped a little bit, I started figuring out that I have an allergy to dust. That's why you should always try to keep a clean environment around you, especially in your house, since we spend the most time in our homes.
Okay. I'm going to stop there and just give you feedback right away, right on that. Okay, so again, this would be still closer to a band 775, which would be considered more of an everyday response. And there are some very clear rules to professional language. Some rules are a little bit more subjective, but some rules are quite objective. So that means that most professionals will agree that that has to be the way it is. It's so much so that even Microsoft Office will tell you, use concise language. So anytime you're writing a professional letter or professional communication, and Microsoft Office will say, sounds like you're writing a professional letter, use concise language. Grammarly will do the same, okay? So because they know that's the standard. So Sarah, it was good, but to make that professional, it has to be concise. It has to be the same information with half the words, okay? And that's one. The other one, I think you know this from maybe previous lessons. In professional language, we control pronouns, everybody, like I, me, you, people. Okay, first, second, third person voice. Professionals will control those very effectively because it really matters if I'm talking about myself, if I'm talking about my listener who I'm talking to, or if I'm talking about the general public, I, my listener, and every other human on earth. Right, Sarah?
Yeah.
Okay, so first advice I'm going to give you is just every time you practice, Sarah, really try to cut down or cut out the use of second person voice. Okay? So as soon as you say, if your house is not tidy enough, it's kind of like, but Sarah, I have a tidy house. I pride myself on how tidy I am. Why would you say that to me? So I know that's not what you're saying, but you're saying when people have an untidy house, right? Still, though, in professional language, you have to control that. It's very dangerous to say you, because if somebody wants conflict, they will pick on that. They will say, are you talking to me? Are you talking about me? And you're saying, no, I'm talking about people. Too late. You said you, I can pick on you now. Do you get it?
Mm-hmm.
A lawyer, it could cost their job to make that mistake, right? Or a doctor, right? So you have to be very careful with that. So it is necessary to keep a tidy home because, and sometimes you just don't need it, Sarah, because when it's untidy, it affects health. Can you try that?
Yeah. It is important to keep a tidy home because I'm sorry, I forgot it. Can you repeat it again?
Just take out the pronouns. It is necessary to keep a tidy home because if it is untidy, it affects health.
It is necessary to keep a tidy home because if it's untidy, it affects your health. It affects health.
Yeah. See, it's so easy to slip in that pronoun, right? But you have to just cut it out, right? Okay, and then you can say, I'm talking about diseases that develop in an unclean environment.
I'm talking about diseases that can develop in unclean environment.
Such as dust allergies.
Such as dust allergies.
Yeah, nice and strong, Sarah. In my previous home, it was very clean. I had no issues. But when I moved, I quickly learned I have dust allergies.
In my previous home, I had no issues, but when I moved, I quickly learned that I have dust allergy.
So now I vacuum daily.
So now I vacuum daily.
That would be your professional communication. Much more concise, to the point, clear, and almost instructive, almost convincing, right? That's a big part of professional communication. So just keep practicing on that. Combine this with writing, Sarah, and that's an advice to everybody going from band 7 to 9, is combine your professional verbal communication with your professional written communication. Writing and speaking are quite different, but when we get into professional writing and speaking, they do start to share a lot more similarities. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, Sarah, thank you so much for sharing your story. I think that really helps people understand the nature of how this works. And thank you for moderating. I look forward to having you more in the class and helping you out.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Sarah. All right. Give Sarah a big thumbs up. She really deserves it. And I think a lot of people just got a lot more clarity on what IELTS really is. Unfortunately, there's a lot of really confusing information on the internet about what IELTS is and how to get those very good and expert. Very good user of English, band 8, doesn't mean very good user of English as a second language. It means a very good user of the English language for anybody. It could be a Canadian, an American, a British person, anybody. Okay. All right. So let's take somebody else. Abraham, you've been very patient. Anna, I got my eye on you. Abraham.
Hi, sir.
How are you?
Oh, I'm fine, thank you. How about you, sir?
I'm great. Thanks for turning on your camera.
Guys, for the last time I joined the class is premium students last week maybe, and then I'm quite busy later on. Then I get some problem maybe with my second op, so I can get your link, premium link Zoom regularly.
I always send them out. Like I sent them out on Friday. I always send them out on Fridays. The schedule will be changing, but I always send them out at least 1 or 2 days before. So if you don't have them, just let me know. Just email me and I will send them out. Okay.
I will send you feedback email to get.
Absolutely. Okay. Abraham, let's do this. Are you ready for a few questions?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, let's do it. So let's talk about personal cleanliness. How has technology changed the way people clean their homes?
I believe nowadays technology influences the way individuals to clean their house. For example, automatic vacuum cleaner or electrostatic sprayer that I had bought last month make me simple and cut my time to clean the floor. Moreover, my quality relaxing time become increasing as well as my free time after work. Just yesterday, I could went to watch a movie with my friends and forget my busy day.
Is this always good?
For busy people, I think technology is helpful to make their time more efficient. However, for family, especially people have a children's, working together to clean house will teach children about responsibility and encourage independency. When kids learn to clean up the house, they become more independent and responsible to pick the tasks. Such as my niece, I always take them to clean the floor, and I believe when he grow up, he will understand and can finish their tasks, their homework, and more responsible and more independent.
Good correction. Very good, Abraham. That's exactly what I was going to tell you to do, is to correct your grammar mistakes when you catch them. Like saying children instead of children's, right? Because children is an irregular plural. So it's child, children. There's no children's, right? Unless you're showing possessive, but there was no possessive there. So awesome. Abraham, that was really good. Those answers would be a Band-Aid because they are professional. It is very good. So you're speaking to me professionally, right? Abraham, would you speak like this in everyday English if we were just casually sitting at a coffee shop and you and I were talking about this?
Actually, before the class begins, I try to figure out the questions and try to imagine the answer. So when the class begin, I can be better to answer your questions and make my performance become increase. Yes.
And professional, like we're discussing this in a sociology class or in a community leadership meeting or some professional environment, and that's what we are doing here. So we feel like we're in a professional environment. So again, my question, Abraham, is if you and I were sitting in a coffee shop talking about the importance of cleaning, would we talk like this to each other? No, right?
Oh, yes.
Right. It wouldn't be this kind of like you wouldn't be like, I believe nowadays people have really been influenced by. No, you'd be like, yeah, you talk to me like this. You'd be like, yeah, of course technology is good. Robot vacuum cleaners and certain powerful detergents, they're helpful. So you talk to me a lot more casually, right? But that's not that's not the IELTS Band 8, Band 9. That's the IELTS Band 7, right? And you want a Band 8. So again, it's that clear difference. Now, the other point I wanted to tell people is if you do your best to speak professionally and you make some grammar or grammar or pronunciation mistakes or word choice mistakes, you can still get a Band 7 or 8. But if you're speaking casually, like if you're speaking everyday English and you're making mistakes, like you're making grammar mistakes and word choice mistakes, then your score starts to go down to a 6 or a 5.5. So it's always a better choice to try to speak professionally for the IELTS. Does that make sense, Abraham?
Yes, sir. Yes,
right?
Sir.
Because it's difficult to speak perfect casual English if you're not a native speaker. Do you get what I'm saying? Right?
Yes.
So if you're going to make mistakes, then make mistakes speaking professionally, not casually. You'll get a better band score, right? Okay.
Okay, sir.
Got
I
it.
think by practicing a lot, I think people can be speaking professionally, and then when the question is it's hard to answer by using the logic, and I think they will be do better.
I agree 100%. Yeah, so you have to really be focused and not stress, be confident, and know when to use what kind of language, and definitely reach for that professional language as much as possible, especially in part 2 and part 3. I agree with you. I really liked your answers, like robot vacuum cleaners or automatic vacuum cleaners. Electrostatic spray was really good to keep down dust, for example. So yeah, your content was awesome. Just a couple of small, slight mistakes with pronunciation features or with an unnecessary plural, but like you did there at the very end where you corrected the word form when you realized that it was the wrong word form and you immediately corrected, that was good. That was great. Okay,
Thank
so
you,
keep
sir.
doing that. Abraham, thank you so much. And if you don't have the link for tomorrow's premium Zoom class, definitely send me an email after today's class, okay?
Okay, sir. Right away, sir. I will send you the email.
Sounds good. Awesome.
Thank you,
Abraham,
sir.
thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, everybody. Give Abraham a big thumbs up in the chat, please, because that was really good. And again, a lot of amazing information to help you prepare for your IELTS exam, okay? Yeah, again, a lot of advice out there is telling people like, oh, just be yourself, just speak normal. No, it's not a coffee shop conversation. IELTS is not a coffee shop conversation, okay? You can't go in there just thinking I'm going to speak normal. All right. Anna, I know I said that I would give you a chance as well. Please unmute yourself.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Yeah, I was very studious today.
How are you, Anna?
I'm doing well. I have a bit of holiday for yesterday and today, and I have spent my days on the beach. The days for 2 days. Yeah,
Nice.
I'm
Yeah.
quite good.
Awesome. Yeah. Nothing like a little R&R on the beach to pick up the mood. All
At
right.
9 a.m. I was on the beach today. Like my morning started from the beach.
It's a great way to start the morning. All right, Anna, are you ready for a couple of questions?
Yes, yes.
If people want to protect the environment, what do they need to consider when cleaning their homes?
Well, I do believe these people should throw away plastic and other rubbish like paper in different bins. So for plastic bottles, it should be a different trash. And when they sort their rubbish out, they also need to put away this in a street too. Not only they need to put rubbish away from their homes, but also in the public places they need to sort this rubbish out as well.
Let's talk about home community cleanup. How can society ensure that their community is kept clean?
I do believe that society should create some rules which every member of the society will follow, and it will help them to organize their community well, and they can do their volunteer work together, like to clean beaches together, or to help government to improve some programs about environment as well, to send their request to the government.
Okay, I'm going to stop there and give you a bit of feedback. So, Anna, that was about a band 7. It was good. It was good. It is professional. It's just missing pieces. So you are speaking more professionally than casually, for sure. But it's not accurate enough and it's not detailed enough. That's the issue here. So here we have professional language.
Yeah, it's spontaneous answers for part 3 because I was part 2 was planned for me, but I wasn't be volunteering part 2. It was spontaneous answer on this question for sure.
Okay, just
And,
repeat
yeah.
after me real quick. Second part.
Second part
Part
was
2.
planned for me.
Part
Part 2.
2. Okay. Yeah, it's the
Part two.
adjective noun difference here. All right. Let me give you a little bit more feedback. Okay. First of all, in your your second answer was better than your first. The reason why your first answer is not going to reach a band 7 is because there's key vocabulary missing. What is that key vocabulary, Anna? We don't throw plastic into garbage these days.
Housework, something to housework, cleaning.
We don't throw plastic into garbage. Where do we throw plastic?
Plastic bottles.
Where do we throw them? We don't throw them into garbage bins anymore. We throw them into what kind of bins? They have a different name.
I know how it's in Ukrainian, but in English.
They're called
recycle bins, yeah.
Recycling bins, that's right. So when you miss key vocabulary like recycling or recycling bins, that's going to hurt your mark for sure. So here, the correct vocabulary, especially because it repeated several times, is recycle. Recycle plastic and put plastic and paper into recycling bins. Can you repeat after me? It's important that people put plastic and paper into recycling bins instead of the rubbish.
It is important to put plastic in the recycle bins instead of rubbish bins.
Okay. So that was one aspect, right? In the next one, how can society ensure that their community is kept clean? You said that society should create some rules that every member of society should follow that helps organize their community well. Now, here you can actually connect. So again, professional, good conversation is connected. It's cohesive conversation. So you can connect your previous answer with this one. Give me an example of what you're saying, Anna, considering the concept of recycling.
Everyone should recycle these plastic bottles from medicine, and it would help to clean not only laboratories but the environment as well. They need to pick up these empty plastic bottles from medicine, and they need to send this to the factory, which recycle.
Simpler. Anna, keep it simple. Keep your thoughts simple. So everybody, professional language does not necessarily mean complicated thoughts. It just means very clear verbal communication. So I would say something like this. I believe that society should create some rules that every member of society should follow that helps organize their community well. Like any person that does not recycle their plastic bottles can be fined $100.
Every recycled bottle will cost $100 million.
Not 100 million.
No. Okay.
Any person who does not recycle plastic can be fined $100.
Every person who recycles the plastic can find $100.
Any person who does not recycle plastic can be fined $100.
Every person who didn't recycle their bottles can find $100.
Very good. And I see Single and Savvy saying separate the waste. Separate waste is okay. We rather say sort rubbish or sort
rubbish.
Waste. Okay, so sorting rubbish. All right, Anna, continue to enjoy the evening. Take that positive energy with you. Have a good night, and I will see you tomorrow in the premium class, okay?
Of course, my mind was melting from all this week. I need to recharge my energy, and yeah.
And it's good to disconnect and rest. Absolutely. Thank you for volunteering.
Yeah, I will join tomorrow if electricity will be stable. Yeah, my electricity jumping these days. So many my neighbors got back from abroad to Ukraine, and this subscriber sometimes internet connection is extremely low. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll do our best, Anna, but try to join and we'll talk again. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, Anna.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
All right, that was Anna. Give Anna a big thumbs up. That was really good. All right. Let's take somebody else. Olawunmi, I think you've been very patient from the beginning. So, Olawunmi, if you can unmute yourself.
Hi, Adrian.
How are you, Olawunmi?
I'm doing very well. And you?
I'm doing pretty good too. Thank you. It's nice to hear that so many people are doing well. Summer's upon us for many of us, and I think that's creating a bit of a positive vibe in the Northern Hemisphere, at least. Olawunmi, are you ready for this? A couple of questions.
Absolutely.
Okay. Let's start with this one. If people want to protect the environment, what do they need to consider when cleaning their homes?
If people want to protect the environment while cleaning their homes, I think they should consider the effects on the wider environment. Using eco-friendly cleaning products would come in, beneficial in this aspect. For example, I use biodegradable cleaning agents, and I found that they work just as effectively without harmful chemicals. Also, people need to cultivate the habit of recycling more diligently, and by making sure to separate their wastes and to ensure proper waste disposal, and which would eventually reduce the landfill impact.
Let's talk about home community cleanup. What government rules can help keep neighborhoods clean?
Using my country, Nigeria, as an example, effective government rules that could ensure that neighborhoods remain clean and tidy include strict regulations on waste disposal and penalties for littering. These rules should be enforced through regular inspections by environmental agencies and law enforcement agencies that could issue fines to offenders. Another way should be, national orientation agencies, that can raise public awareness through campaigns, about the importance of cleanliness. I believe these measures would be fairly able to encourage community responsibility and ensure cleaner neighborhoods across the country.
Can you give an example?
For example, ensuring communal teamwork, for example, like ensuring that neighborhoods and different households come together to clean their environments. In my neighborhood, for example, there are times when we have to come together as residents to get rid of debris that block drainages and eventually affect the water supply.
Okay. How does the government support that?
The government supports that through, like I said earlier, effective campaigns through the national orientation agencies, so that reaches every member of the society to encourage them to maintain, tidy environments.
Okay.
And also government.
I'll stop you there. Olawunmi, good. You've got amazing vocabulary. You, so see, when I'm talking with you, Olawunmi, immediately as the examiner, and examiners will have this, so the examiner can feel when a person practiced professional English for the exam versus a person who likely uses professional English in everyday life and is adapting it for the exam. That was a bit complex. Did everybody understand what I just said there? Olawunmi, did you understand what I meant by that?
I did understand.
Okay, so I have a feeling, Olawunmi, that you use English in a professional context in your daily life. Is that a correct assumption?
Yes.
Okay. Why? Because I can tell that professional English comes to you naturally. So so let me explain to everybody that's listening. So Olawunmi said through regular inspection by environmental and law enforcement agencies. That kind of phrasing isn't the type of sentence that a person just quickly thinks about without having professional English as a part of their daily routine. So I have a feeling you've probably told clients or colleagues that, you know, we have an inspection coming up from one of the agencies that governs our medical offices or whatever it may be, and you actually say that to your colleague or someone, correct?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I'm guessing. You can tell me if no, Adrian, you're totally wrong. I just chit chat every day. Then you can tell me that. But and Olawunmi, what do you work? What's your job again? Can you remind me?
I'm a physiotherapist.
Right, physiotherapy, of course. Yes, that's what I thought. We have a couple of physiotherapists volunteering. It was Priya also, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. So, yeah, and in physiotherapy, professional language is a daily job, right? It's a part of the daily job. So you do that very well. Speak with confidence, Olawumi. You've got great English, so speak with strength. It can also be trained. You can train yourself to speak with strength, okay? You've earned it. You're a professional. You speak great English. Speak with strength. Even diction is important for band 9, so having that strong voice, okay? Don't forget about examples, right? That's why I asked you, can you give me an example? And then make sure that your example is clearly connected. There are lots of social media campaigns on Instagram, Facebook, television to encourage Nigerians to keep the rubbish clean in their communities so that they do not have tainted water, so that they have clean drinking water. Can you say that one more time? So can you give me an example, Olawumi?
There are different social media campaigns through Facebook, Instagram, to raise awareness to the public about, ensuring cleaner environment, and that could inadvertently affect, the drinking water.
Exactly. So that's that strong connection, right? Olawunmi, very good. I think you would, as long as you're confident and you're really focusing on the strategy of answer, explanation, example, I think you can nail a band 8 or even an 8.5. And with enough practice, I mean, I'm sure you can get even a band 9. So just keep doing what you're doing, okay?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Adrian.
Thank you, Olawunmi. Bye for now.
Bye.
All right. That was Olawunmi, everybody. And I'm going to stop our Zoom session there for now. I appreciate all of the volunteers, everybody who shared their English, and especially those of you who even shared your cameras. It's great to see faces. It makes the classes just so much better. So Abraham and Priya that were sharing, that was great. Students, hopefully you got a more insight into the nature of the exam, the use of professional English, the use of AI as a tool which assists you to improve your English, not to give you English. And for those of you who are premium students on the website, make sure to join the class tomorrow. It will start 30 minutes earlier than this class started. To become a premium user, aehelp.com for academic IELTS and gieltshelp.com for general IELTS. Again, our websites, they look like this. This is academic here. Click the big red button to join. It's a one-time payment, lifetime access, general IELTS. Sarah, thank you for sharing your story with us. That was, I'm sure, enlightening for many students. Again, I hope to see you tomorrow. YouTube, I will be back on Thursday with speaking part 1. Take care, everybody. Enjoy the weekend. Like Anna, get out there, enjoy the sunshine, enjoy the beach, enjoy the forest, and of course, each other's company. Much love to all of you, wherever you are in the world today. I'm Adrian, signing out from beautiful Victoria here in Western Canada. Bye, everybody.